Hey guys, RDU here. Today I want to talk about trinkets at large. Let's have an in-depth discussion about what we know, what we learned, and how to best utilize trinkets. So, trinkets are one of the best updates in a while, but how can we make the most of it? Well, let's start with the information that Blizzard told us before the patch was released. According to their blog post, you are guaranteed to have at least one trinket that has a type tag of a minion that you have 2+ minions. Not guaranteed of your most common tribe. Let's say if you have 3 dragons and 2 beasts, you are not more likely to get a dragon trinket than to get a beast trinket. But you are more likely to get both dragons and beasts for your trinkets. Then you are guaranteed at least one trinket that doesn't have any tribe tag. So that's a neutral trinket such as Goldenizer, Goblin Wallet, Glowing Gauntlet, stuff like that. You are also guaranteed a cheap trinket under 2 gold. And if you are somehow offered a trinket for a tribe in the lobby that you currently don't have 2 minions or more, it's gonna be discounted by 2 gold, which is pretty crazy because it used to be 1 gold on release. But they want to incentivize the pivots more often. Probably because of their data, they could tell that people don't really pick pivots, which makes sense. So they want to make it more interesting. Some trinkets can only be offered if you are in that tribe. So outside of like pivot trinkets, you can avoid a lot of the bad trinkets, but by not getting too many tribes. The way I look at it, for the lesser trinket, I really want to focus on having powerful minions. And I don't really care about the tribes necessarily. So I'm gonna just buy the most powerful minions, even if they're tribes that I don't really want to play long term. And then I'll try to pick a neutral trinket. Obviously, the less 2+ minions of a tribe you can have, the better. So ideally you have like 1 of each tribe's powerful minions, then you are more likely to get neutral trinkets. Pick something like gold if you're strong, or glowing gauntlet if you're not so strong, and then try to have a setup for the next trinket round. With greater trinkets, you generally want to have a strategy already. But let's stay to lesser trinkets for a bit more. Is there any advantage for having a tribe that is like super common? Let's say you have like 4 demons and like 2 dragons. Well, from what I learned playing a lot myself, if you are offered Compass, you're gonna get Compass for your most common tribe. So if you have like 3 tribes, 2+ minions each, you're gonna get Compass of the tribe that you have the most minions. So keep that in mind, because Compass is usually a very good option. It's one of the best tribe trinkets, even though it's available for every single tribe, because it gives you 1 minion per turn. So at worst, it's just like 1 extra gold every single turn, sometimes obviously better than that. A lot better in the early turns, because you can usually pick Compass and level to 4 in the same turn, and then maybe even push to 5 with the extra minion that you get. So it's a very good trinket to just push aggressively. More about lesser trinkets, let me tell you how I think about it. So if I have a very powerful early game, where I don't take that much damage, where I'm offered very powerful shops, I either go Tavern free on 6 gold or 7 gold, then stay 1 more turn on free to get stronger. Then it depends what trinkets I get offered. If I pick Goblin Wallet or Souvenir Stand, usually I will stay 1 more turn on free to make sure that I win the fight. But it depends also who I'm fighting. If my opponent goes to 4, I might also join them to 4. But it really depends on your opponent and on your strength. Generally, with those greedy trinkets, you want to stay on my turn on free. You can also pick Glowing Gauntlet and then buy some shops, and like it makes sense to stay on free to immediately get stronger. But there is a situation where you can get the token, the 2 gold trinket that was just buffed and upgrades a minion from the shop or from your board. With that one, you want to level immediately and go for 6 drops. And also, if you get offered the Innkeeper's Stein, you want to level immediately and go for 5 drops and then maybe 6 drops. You have like different play styles, but this is what I would look at. Like I either try to go greedy and then play a little bit more on Tavern free, then go to 4, stay a bit more on 4, wait for the greater trinket to really go crazy. Or you go straight for 5s and 6s with the Evolve token and with the Stein. Or again, you stabilize the game with Glowing Gauntlet, or let's say you're getting offered the Slimy trinket with the Fell Bloods and buffing the shop. Again, those are defensive options. You have to ask yourself, what do you want in the moment? If you're already strong, you want to be greedy. If you're like taking a lot of damage and you want to stabilize, you want something that offers you strength immediately. You don't have time to like wait for the late game. If you can turn it around late game with a greater trinket, good, but don't rely on that. I see a lot of people picking greedy trinkets and like leveling very aggressively when they're already taking a lot of damage. That's not what you want to do. Even if you're playing a powerful hero, the situation can get really out of hand really quickly if you're not paying attention. Now, for the greater trinkets, you really want to try to not have tribes that you don't want. Let's say you don't want the dragon greater trinkets. You don't want to have 2 dragons on your board going on turn 9. That's like really bad, and you're very likely to get offered greater dragon trinkets, and they're gonna just be useless picks. Sure, you can still hope to get a neutral greater trinket that saves you, but I think there's less neutral greater trinkets and more tribe-related greater trinkets, which means that you should usually have a strategy by the point you're getting the greater trinket. Either around a 6-drop or a 5-drop that you got, or around staying a little bit more on 3 and 4. Just try your best, like 80-90% of your games, to have 2+ minions only of the tribes that have good greater trinkets for you in that lobby. Basically, again, as I said, don't have 5 demons and 2 dragons, because then you're gonna ruin your chances to get a good trinket. Don't have 5 demons and 2 quillboar. You can have 1 quillboar, 1 dragon, because it doesn't influence it at all. But if you have 2 of a minion, be ready to get trinkets for that tribe. And usually the trinkets, the greater ones, they incentivize you to have like 6 or 7 minions of that tribe and just be 100% committed. Not always the case, but yeah, generally it's better to pick a lesser trinket that is more broad, and then once you have the strategy, tunnel vision and go crazy. Sometimes you can just pick 2 neutral trinkets, like you can go Glowing Gauntlet for tempo, and then pick Medivh Book as a greater trinket, and still have a good game, maybe even like win or get second, who knows. Sometimes you can pick Medivh into Medivh, like it works, it can happen, but just be careful and mindful at playing with those chances. Now, I'm not saying you should cut a 20-20 minion just to not have 2 off. But if you can avoid it, maybe like don't buy a decent free drop and buy a slightly worse 3 or 4 just to avoid a situation like this from the get-go. Again, you have to ask yourself, do I really need this minion? That's it. That's what you have to do. Again, I wouldn't play way too much around trinkets, but always good to have it in the back of your mind. This video is brought to you by Firestone. Firestone is the best companion for your Hearthstone Battlegrounds games. It has advanced support for trinkets in that it will tell you exactly what trinkets you're eligible for and what trinkets you're not eligible for. And you can see, hey, maybe I want this trinket, I should probably get 2 minions of that tribe. Or maybe I want to avoid this trinket, let's get rid of one of the minions before the greater trinket pick to not ruin my chances of having a good trinket for my lobby. On top of that, it has support with percentages and all the other good stuff like session recap, categorizing minions on like battle cries, death rattles, and their other effects. It's a great tool that can assist you in your Battlegrounds journey. Firestone is completely free to use, and if you download it with my link, you support the video and the stream. So check them out. Link in description. Thank you to Firestone for sponsoring this video.